strongly you have the evidence, you don't initially make it.
Are there specific examples of how the fact-checking process has been changed?
Well, you have to remember, I haven't been there since 1999, so I don't know what they're doing right now. But I can comment on what happened when I was there.
Sure.
And absolutely, I can remember specific cases where, for example, we got a report from a freelancer in Kosovo, I think. And that person was telling us that such and such a person didn't want her name used, a person in Kosovo, right? And therefore couldn't be quoted by name. But we insisted that she give us a name and address, I believe, for that person in Kosovo before we would use the unnamed quote, so that we would have some, even though we wouldn't use the person's name, we would know what it was. And that was pursuant to a policy we developed that whenever you used an unnamed quote, you would have to supply the name to at least one editor, so that there'd be some other person who would know that the person was real. And we took a lot of precautions like that, and frankly, we challenged a number of people who weren't too happy to be challenged, but we felt we had to do it,
Have you seen Stephen Glass again since firing him?
The only time I saw Steve was a brief glimpse of him across a room when I went for a visit to his lawyer when I was still editor of the New Republic, and I haven't seen him since.
He's writing again. How do you feel about that?
Well, I didn't appreciate his book, his novel, which I felt really kind of contradicted his expressions of remorse, because the book portrays not only me but other people who were responsible for unmasking him in a very, very negative light. Obviously, it's a roman à clef. We're not named, but we're also not fools, and we know what's based, who these characters are based on. And so I was troubled when I read it, because he has been now going public and saying how much remorse he feels and sending out letters of apology and that sort of thing. But the book, I think, once again shows the kind of nasty side of Stephen Glass, and shows that he seems to have this need, when he's fictionalizing, to create people who are to be made fun of or are to be viewed in a negative light.
He's writing journalism again, too, isn't he? I think he's writing for the Rolling Stone again.
I think he wrote one article for them, yeah. And, caveat emptor.
Charles Lane is the editor at the New Republic who revealed the fabrications of the magazine's staff writer Stephen Glass. Lane now covers the Supreme Court for the Washington Post. The movie Shattered Glass is based on the story of Stephen Glass. Coming up, we hear from the actor who portrays Charles Lane in the movie, Peter Sarsgaard. This is Fresh Air.